I'm going to go ahead and dive right in and go over what we'll be talking about in our short time together. So we'll have some introductions so you know who is speaking to you this evening and who you can connect with in the future. We're also going to cover the difference between dual degrees and combined degrees, because sometimes it can be a little tricky understanding what both of those terms are referring to. I'll go over the different program offerings available within the Warrington College of Business, and then some breakdown information about combined degrees and what the expectation and highlights are. And then we'll have some opportunity for a Q&A session. Know that you're more than welcome to include your question in the chat throughout this session. Chances are I might answer the question. If not, I'll be sure to address it at the very end of the presentation. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Allison Gatchie. I am an academic advisor, more specifically an assistant director for combined degree advising within the Heavener School of Business. Just a little bit about me. I'm a Gainesville native, born and raised. I'm a triple Gator grad, so UF is my home in more ways than one. I also have 7 years of advising experience. Over my tenure, I've worked with 3 different colleges here at UF. I've worked obviously with business, but I've also worked with engineering and liberal arts and sciences. And I'm super excited to work with you not only this evening, but in the future, should you want to pursue a combined degree. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, who will also be able to answer some questions at the end of the session.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Lord. First, congratulations on your mission to the University of Florida. Welcome to Gainesville. Excited to see a lot of you joining us here this evening. My name is Andy Lord. I am the Executive Director of Recruiting. Basically, what that means is I help you guys figure out what you might want to do for graduate school. So I'm here for you to talk with and figure out your path in order to get to the golden tickets that we offer here in the Warrington College of Business, the Huff Graduate School of Business. As you can see, I do have a degree from Winthrop University, which is in South Carolina, in marketing, and the University of Florida in higher education administration. I have been with the University of Florida close to 20 years now, where most of that was spent working as the admissions director for the UF MBA program. So I'm pretty equipped to help you figure out what options that we do have in the college, and thanks again for joining us this evening.
So many of you may have heard of both of these concepts in preview. So a dual degree is completion of 2 degrees as an undergraduate student. So this could be completion of a marketing degree and an advertising degree, or economics and finance. So both degrees are completed within your 4-year time frame, or earlier if you end up graduating sooner. And your academic advising is housed within 2 colleges in the University of Florida. So for the example of finance and economics, your advising would take place with the Heavener School of Business for finance, but also the liberal arts and sciences for the economics degree. So this is something that is completely done at the undergraduate level. And so when you graduate, you will have 2 different degrees, both undergraduate. Combined degree is a little bit different. In some ways, it's similar to completing high school dual enrollment, meaning that you have that opportunity to have an accelerated completion of a master's degree, so that advanced graduate education degree. In this case, for a combined degree, it means that your master's degree is completed after you earn your bachelor's. So there has to be at least 1 semester of time difference between undergrad and grad school. And you also receive advising from the undergraduate advising office and the graduate advising office of the degree that you're pursuing. So you have different resources to utilize, and essentially what this means is it's giving you that opportunity to speed up the rate at which you're earning a master's degree. And we'll go into some more details as to how you speed that up later on in the slides. So as far as what's offered within the Warrington College of Business, we have a lot of options, and some of them you may have heard of before, and some of them you may be hearing for the first time. So they are in order, all 7 programs listed. We have MIB for International Business, MS ISOM, which is Information Systems and Operations Management, MSE, which is for Entrepreneurship, MSF, the Master of Science in Finance, MSM is the Master of Science in Management. So it's important to note that at this time, this degree program is available only to non-business majors. What that means is if you decide during your major and career exploration, you choose to change your major out of the College of Business, you can still pursue one of our combined degree options through the management program. We also have the Master of Science in Marketing, which was brand new this year, hot off the presses. And we also have the MSRE, the Master of Science in Real Estate. Some of our master's programs have been around for over 20 years, and all of them are really highly ranked. So these are great opportunities to enhance your undergraduate experience. The expectations as far as the timing look different for each program. So this chart here shows you not only the total number of credits for each program, it also shows you the options that are available if it is a fully online program, should that be something you're considering, and then the timing of the program, if it can be completed in 1 year or less, and then the requirements necessary in order to be an eligible applicant, whether they require a business background of either a major or a minor, or if a business background isn't necessarily required. So this is to kind of help you gauge what that time period is going to look like after your bachelor's degree in completion of those credits. So as far as expectations, in pursuing a combined degree program, you are a graduate student in some sense. And so there's going to be a higher level of expectation in a lot of different ways. So some of those expectations relate to the workload. So you're going to be expected to work in and out of the classroom in all of your classes. So there may be a good deal of homework, there may be a lot of advanced reading, projects, assignments, etc., in addition to what you're doing inside the classroom. The classes and combined degree programs here at Warrington are fast-paced, so they are set up in a modular format. The best way to describe this is kind of like Summer A and Summer B, so that instead of taking one 4-credit, 16-week course like Principles of Microeconomics, you end up taking 2-credit, 8-week courses. So they go much faster, you cover a lot more content across different topics, and with that speed comes this pace at which you're completing your assignments. So there is a difference between the undergrad and the graduate classes. There's also significant demands of your time. This is a graduate degree program, and so there will be expectations of you to dedicate with advanced preparation, reading, studying, etc., to achieve that academic success at the graduate level. And then there's going to be an expectation of commitment and teamwork from your classmates. So a lot of our classes within the combined degree programs are much smaller class sizes, giving you the opportunity for ample group work and collaboration with your peers. And one of the things to remember in being part of the combined degree program is that some of your classmates may be pursuing a traditional graduate program, meaning they started their master's degree after they earned their bachelor's. So they may be a little bit older, they may have a little more work or life experience, and so they're going to have those expectations of you to carry your weight for those group projects as well. And then, of course, our expectation is to ensure that you have a quality educational experience. We strive really hard to make sure that there are ample resources available to you, both at the undergraduate and at the graduate level as you pursue a combined degree program. So some of the really awesome highlights about combined degrees is probably one of the biggest things that everyone hears about is the way to share or double count credits. So what this means is undergraduate students can potentially share or double count up to 12 credits. This means that instead of taking a certain course at the undergraduate level, you would replace it with a graduate class and it would fulfill requirements in both degree programs. So that's where that acceleration piece comes in. It also can save you not only time, but money as well. And I'll get into some of that in a minute. Most students can finish in 4 to 4.5 years. Because of that acceleration of sharing credits, you may be able to finish both your bachelor's and your master's within the original time period of your bachelor's degree. So it gets a great return of investment as far as going out into the workforce and putting those skills to good use that you've learned through your graduate program. Some programs, like the MIB program or the MSRE program, have a study tour, also known as a global immersion experience. And this is a really great opportunity for you to get exposure to the business world from a lot of different perspectives across the world. And so that is a really big draw for students to some of our programs, and it's an option that you can incorporate into many of them, even if it's not required. It's an elite group of students to be part of the combined degree program. Many students express interest early on, much like most of you, and we have approximately 20% of our undergraduate business students are enrolled in combined degree programs. So by getting admitted into one of these programs, you're part of a really special group of students. You also have the resources of graduate career services. So many of you are going to learn in Warrington Welcome about the different resources available within business career services. And these services are available only to business students. This is also available at the graduate level, and there's even more opportunities available to connect with career coaches at the graduate level to help you prepare for your job search once you earn your master's degree. And like I said, financial aid might be able to assist some of the costs for this program. Specifically looking at Bright Futures and Florida Prepaid, there's a possibility that they can help offset some of the costs of the graduate program by that double counting component, saving you that money along with the time of taking classes. So it looks like, let's see here. As far as policies are concerned, there are some expectations on your end in order to be a competitive applicant. So, of course, academics play a really big role. And when it comes to the competitiveness, some programs are competitive in expecting a 3.2 or higher cumulative UFGPA to qualify for eligibility. But just meeting the minimum doesn't always mean that you're guaranteed admission. So it's really important to ensure that you're doing the best. And what better time to start than your first semester? For some of our programs, the GPA is a 3.0 or higher, and in others, like the MSRE program, it is a little bit higher. You also have to have some time vested here at UF before you're eligible to apply. So depending on the program that you're considering, they do expect you to have a certain number of credit hours completed before you can start graduate coursework. And that can vary between 60 and 90 credit hours. It is also important that you have all of your critical tracking classes completed. So I know that you guys are all familiar with those classes because you all just watched the degree audit presentations in Warrington Welcome. And it's those 7 professional classes, 8 for finance and accounting students, that need to be completed before you can start the program. If you end up changing your major out of the College of Business, be sure to come talk to the graduate program advisors because there may still be some opportunities to pursue some of those combined degree programs that don't necessarily require that business background. And then it's also important to be aware of the testing component, that our combined degree programs, because you are pursuing a graduate degree, there's an expectation for you to complete either the GMAT or the GRE. And while some programs may not necessarily have a preference, others do have a preference. So it's important to make sure that you know that before you decide which test to sign up for. So as far as those prerequisites are concerned, those 7 or 8 critical tracking classes, just as a refresher, they're on the screen here to remind you of the courses that need to be completed and the timing at which we usually expect students to finish them. So all business students need to have those pre-professional courses done by the end of their 4th critical tracking semester. But of course, if you are ahead of schedule or you finish them early, it just means that you are potentially eligible to start the program that much sooner. As far as your next steps are concerned, this was a first step in the right direction. What I would recommend that you do from this point forward, if this has caught your attention and your interest, is to take a look at our website that's on the screen here. You can also just search on the Warrington website, Specialized Masters, and you'll find the page that had a similar chart to what I showed previously with the credit hours. You'll also find mine and Andy's photo, so you know you're in the right spot. There are information sessions held for a lot of our combined degree programs every semester, and it's never too early to attend an info session, just like you guys are here tonight. You can always check our Specialized Masters website for that information, and we have them multiple times throughout the semester, and it's an Eventbrite that you sign up for, and then you'll get the Zoom link to join in. There are also program directors for each of the combined degree programs. So if you want to have a more detailed conversation about competitiveness and admissions rates and the curriculum once you're in the graduate program, they're going to be a great resource for you as well. And like I had mentioned previously about the possibility of having financial aid help subsidize some of your costs, Student Financial Affairs is another invaluable resource for you when you're doing that long-term planning. They're housed in Kreiser Hall, but for those of you that aren't in the area, you can still connect with them by phone or email as well. And if you want to talk more detail about your own individual academic record, what it looks like for the timing, sequencing of classes, when it might be a great time to apply for the program, which program to decide between, I'm certainly available for Zoom advising sessions, and I'd love to sit down and chat with you in more detail. If you have questions, my email and Andy's email are listed here, so we're both resources that can help you as you navigate the path through combined degrees. We have about 10 minutes left. So if you have any questions, I'm going to turn it over to you all. Feel free to either unmute yourself and ask away, or you can type it in the chat if you'd prefer, and Andy and I will certainly answer your questions for you.
First of all, the GMAT is good for 5 years. You know, right now, as we're in this crazy time that you guys are all finding yourself in, there has been some, you know, testing leniency that has been put out there. Right now, we're carrying things over to the fall of 2021. Given your timing of when you're applying or looking into the MSF program, it would be apparent that you need to talk to Kelly Herring just to make sure you're on board with what the requirements are for applying to the MSF program. I definitely would fire her off an email just to make sure, given when your application and when you are speaking with her and your time is, you know, when you need to start looking into this, definitely make sure that that requirement is either in place at this point or it's still going to continue to be waived. So as of right now, it's a good question. I would definitely check with Kelly Herring.
Not only do you need your 7 pre-professional or critical tracking classes completed, along with 90 credit hours, you will also need completion of both Principles of Marketing, that's MAR 3023, and Business Finance, FIN 3403, before you start the program. They can be in progress when you're submitting your application, but you just have to have grades earned before you enroll in your first semester of graduate classes. Great question. It depends. So I have had some students that apply for combined degree programs in their final semester of undergrad, and that is where they load up on all of those 12 double counting credits, they earn their bachelor's degree, and then they go on to finish the master's the following semester. Other students apply a little earlier. I would say it's typically 2 to 3 semesters before you're finishing your undergraduate degree, but depending on the courses you've completed and your own timeline, it may look a little bit different. If you schedule an appointment with me, I'm more than happy to create an academic plan with you. I will follow up with that for the combined degree programs, specifically for anyone interested in the Master of Science in Finance. If you have not already gotten involved with EFE, Exploring Financial Economics, I certainly encourage that you get involved with that program, and Kelly Herring can help walk you through the process because their application timeline looks very different than the application timelines for other combined degree programs. So if you are interested in MSF, now is the best time for you to start that planning for the future. So that's a great question. As you're currently an undergraduate student, you guys all have access to 2 different resources. You have access to the CAP mentors, the career and peer mentors that are a subset of Business Career Services. So each of you, whether you know it or not, is already assigned to a Business Career Services career coach. And you can schedule appointments with them through a website called Hire Warrington, and they can discuss the career aspects and your career goals and any questions that you may have. Working with Andy and I directly, we're going to help determine what program might be the best fit for you. And so having that career conversation first may help guide the conversation about academics. Great question. All right, well, if you don't have any questions, so long as you've scanned the QR code, I hope you have a great rest of the evening. I really appreciate you coming to learn a little bit more about combined degrees.